Thank you for tuning into the podcast, and thanks to our sponsor, SS96. Still rocking with us in 2022, and it's so amazing. We appreciate you. SS96 is putting out new merch and still has some of your favorites. Get your Executive Productions t-shirts, Swish Masters t-shirts, as well as Farm Raised Entertainment t-shirts. Don't forget to check out Straight Stoners music, as well as my own release under Executive Productions. It's available on all streaming platforms, and new music is in the works, so stay tuned. Go to ss96.net and use the promo code SWISHMASTERS to get discounted merch today. Thank you all again. We're grateful. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Swish Masters podcast. I am your co-host, Zay, the executive producer, back for another one.
Co-host Q the Guru. What's up? What's up?
What's happening, man?
Man, not much, bro. But there's a lot of news that happened in the NBA this past week. One of the more surprising news, let's get this real quick, was Draymond Green, who is an active player. You know, he's done some content with TNT and Bleacher Report before. The thing that comes to my mind first is this infamous interview with KD on Bleacher Report and how that made some waves. So Draymond definitely has some talent to be on there. But the fact that this dude signed a multi-year deal with TNT / Bleacher Report, so he's going to be doing a lot of different things with TNT on Inside the NBA. He'll be on set sometimes, and he'll also be virtual. But the fact that Draymond Green, who is an active player, is also doing this, got some thoughts on it. But before I go, what are your thoughts on it?
It's definitely different for an active player who I don't really see retiring from playing anytime soon, to get a deal like this as basically as a reporter for TNT. And like you said, we've seen him on Inside the NBA and Bleacher Report, and he has a podcast too. So I know he has, you know, the media or reporting ability, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it this soon. Like, I don't see Draymond retiring anytime soon. I feel like the only players I've known to do that while they were still playing were like within, you know, a year or two of retiring. And even like the most recent I can think of wasn't even a basketball player. It was who was it? Drew Brees. I think he signed a deal with NBC, like his final year, and we all knew like, oh, this is it. So he's gonna retire. But this is different. I think it's pretty cool overall, and shout out to Draymond for, you know, pursuing his, you know, maybe this is his passion outside of basketball. So that's pretty cool for him. I just don't see how it's going to work exactly. I'm sure they'll work the logistics of it with him being an active player, still playing. And I think it'll be funny if he were to be reporting on like Inside the NBA one night, and then the next night he's playing, and then he comes back and he's like on Shaq and the Fool or something. That would be really that'd be really dope to me to see. But
that'd be.
I wonder how it's going to work out. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah. So he's been on Inside the NBA lots of times before, and again, he's been filling in for different hosts on there, and he's been doing a good job. So it seems natural that it would get to this point. He's doing so much work with them anyway, might as well pay him, right? So I can see that. And he's doing so much in the media right now, and there's such a hunger for NBA content. So it seems like a perfect fit.
Yeah,
he gives pretty good analysis as well. So shout out to him for that. My only concern is this, though. You're on a team who's one of the contenders, who a lot of people say are the favorites to win a title this year.
Yeah.
It's clear that he has a vital role for the Warriors, you know, because they haven't looked the same with him being out.
Yeah.
So he's clearly important to what they do. So my only concern is this. Well, he I know he's been doing the media for a while,
Yeah.
so I'm sure he probably already has a balance. But this is literally like you having two jobs now.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure what you're doing at Turner now is going to require more time, or even more effort, more grind. So, my only concern is that will this potentially be a setback on the basketball side of things? How is this going to look to interview other players who you're competing against, right? Or to report on the game where while you're still playing. I wonder, would there be any bias in his analysis at all? Since he is actively a current player, it's kind of hard to remove bias. I mean, even the retired players have some bias still, but is it even more so? The media does so much with the game, shaping narrative, and that's basically more power to shape the narrative best as he sees fit, because you have the voice, you have the microphone, and again, well deserving, but it's just weird and different to see if someone who's actively playing right now, and as you said, for years to come, and to have such a huge platform already, still being an active player. I just feel like there might be some potential conflict. Either way, would it be a distraction to other teammates? Again, he's been doing this for a minute, but it's different, I feel like, with this new role.
I mean, I look at it from the perspective of pretty much all the great NBA All-Stars or superstars have something that we know that they do outside of just playing in games. LeBron has, his school. KD has the boardroom. Steph has many endorsements and businesses. I feel like when it comes down to it, I don't think it's gonna be to where he's, one night he's playing a game. I feel like they'll work the logistics of it to where he's not like, oh, I'm playing in this game on NBA on TNT on Thursday night, and then we got this special thing on Saturday. I'm gonna be reporting on it. I doubt it's gonna be like a swift, and he's doing a bunch of games every week. I feel like he'll be more still in his current year or current years as an active player. I feel like he'll be doing more of a fill-in type thing, and kind of just giving, smaller segments, not really like taking on a whole bunch as being a player. But I do think it's going to be biased, because really when you look at inside the NBA as it is right now with Chuck and Kenny and Shaq, those guys butt heads all the time, and they all have different opinions. And I think that's the beauty of it. Like, Kenny is, Chuck is always going to say his sons, and, Shaq is always like calling out the big man. And they all like differ from opinions, but I feel like that background and that mixture of ideas just makes it a great show. And they still, they have chemistry, even though they have different opinions. But I definitely think that Draymond's knowledge of the game, he's very knowledgeable of the game. But if he's, getting asked about, oh, do you think your team can, take it? He's probably, yeah, we got it, So I feel like it'll be an interesting dynamic to explore. And who knows? This may just be the beginning of many, players doing this type of thing, this type of split role, or taking on a second type of major influence on the NBA and media. Even like, I know CJ McCollum has had a radio show for years.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think it's cool. I want to see how it plays out, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think that. I think he would be able to balance it. You know what I mean? Like between playing and everything else.
Yeah, I hear you, but a lot of things the other players do is more of a hobby, and they have more autonomy. over what they do. The difference with this one to me is I don't know the details of the contract. But the thing is, this is a contract with another company. And within that contract, there are certain things you have to fulfill. Again, I don't know the details. Hopefully, it's flexible. But I don't know. But based on what was reported, he'll be in studio with inside the NBA. He'll also be virtual. He'll also be potentially doing some things for Bleacher Report. So I feel like that could be more things on his plate. And I know basketball players have a lot more going on in their lives. I'm sure he has, family and loved ones. He wants to definitely spend time with them. You got time to give to the game, time for your hobbies and stuff. So I wonder, there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be some sacrifice somewhere to fit this in.
Yeah.
Because this is different because this is a contract. It's something that you've done that's a hobby. That's different. And go back to something like LeBron and his school or Steph and what he's doing. He can hire people to run some things for you, right?
Yeah.
And LeBron has so much going on. There's no way he's doing all that, managing each one.
He has a team.
Yeah, right. You have a team. But
Good
this
point.
is him. This is Draymond. He's an employee of Turner now, as well as an employee of the NBA. So it's tough.
That's a good point.
I feel like it's tough. That's my only concern here. Again, we don't know the full details of the contract, but hopefully, it's flexible enough to where he can still be productive on the court and off the court.
I mean, I think the sad thing about it, being an NBA player, is for a lot of us it's a dream, but when you have a family, I've heard it from many players, the family, they basically sacrifice their time and moments with family to pursue their career, because think about it, as an NBA player, you're already on the road half of the year basically. And when you're at home, it's short periods of time because you got to go train, you got to go to practice, you got team meetings, you got other stuff going on, so you're already kind of nudging your family to the side. But as long as you and your family have discussed it and talked about it, it's fine. But I feel like if anything, it'll probably be for him. That's where I feel like it would probably lack attention, and it's sad, but I think it's just part of the game, part of the trade.
Yeah, and plus we don't know what those discussions are like. We just assume him as human beings want to spend time with our loved ones. That's all we're assuming here, and I'm sure maybe they are understanding and supportive. Of course, families should be supportive of each other, but that's just one thing to think about, because you have so much on your plate. There's time. There's only 24 hours in a day. You gotta put some sleep in there somewhere. Especially if you're a basketball player. You gotta rejuvenate your body. I don't know. It's tough, but shout out to Draymond. Very exciting opportunity for him, for sure. And I always expected him to be on inside the NBA after his career was over. But seeing him on here now, I'm sure it'll be fine to see.
I think it's cool. Inside the NBA is doing a lot of different stuff. Obviously with D-Wade, Candace Parker, Adam being on there, on Tuesdays, they switch it up, and I feel like it's good. A lot of players, former players, or like we say, Draymond's a current player, making it a lot more interesting. So shout out to them for testing something new, something different, and shout out to Draymond.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think we'll see potentially more players doing something like this? More active players who also work in the media, like binding by contract type stuff, like major media network type stuff?
I think so. Not only TNT or Turner Sports or whatever, but ESPN as well. We've seen Vince Carter make that transition after his last year of playing. Many different players, Richard Jefferson, Tracy McGrady. And I've heard about, guys like PJ Tucker, guys that just are knowledgeable and well-spoken about the game. I feel like, that's probably an easy transition for a lot of these guys. And maybe it starts earlier. So
I guess so, but again, we normally always hear this after they retire. For example, JJ Redick,
JJ
He's doing
Redick. Yeah.
great right now. He had his podcast too before retired and everything. Great podcast too.
Yep.
By the way, but what he's doing now at ESPN, awesome. Great analysis going up against these talking heads there. It's nice seeing him. So yeah, there's definitely a place for NBA players in the media, but I guess I'm specifically asking, will we see more active players like who are actively playing and people being in that role? Because if Draymond's successful with this, I won't be surprised to see more.
I think so.
And then that possibly be a conversation for something else another day.
Yeah, I definitely see it happening. I think if it works for Draymond, it can work for pretty much any active player that's got a nice media presence.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, shout out to Draymond.
Shout out to Draymond.
Shout out to Turner Sports. Oh, this also means more Draymond and Charles Barkley. I'm always down for that. Draymond and Charles, that's fine TV right there.
Oh man,
yeah, fine TV.
That ought to be interesting.
Very good TV.